Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ralph, and this week, besides showing my face here, I got a package from Hobby Nut Models. Now, as you guys know, they have been sponsoring the channel for a couple months now here, so of course, check them out. Link in the video description below, as I've been doing for the last couple of months here, and help them out as they really seem to care about the community, and they sponsor a number of channels. And so mine is one of them, and I do really appreciate that, Mark. And I ordered a couple of models from him, and I knew they were coming, but he said he was going to send me some additional stuff. So I did open this kit box, and I wanted to see what else he sent me. So I'm going to open it here with you guys, but I have looked in here just to be honest with you guys, because I wasn't sure what he was sending me or what I was going to do video-wise on it. But because he did say he wanted to send me some parts kits. So that's what's in here, and I had no idea what Mark was going to send me. But I had a couple of kits I knew was coming. So let's get this going. I hope you can see all of this. Plus, I did order these Tamiya paint stirrers, these stainless stirrers, just to give them a try. And I use toothpicks all the time, but I figured these would probably help a little bit, especially with the flat paints that I tend to use every now and then. With the testers ones, they can get really clumpy at the bottom. So give those a try. But I got those. And a couple of kits that I did order on his site. He does get the vintage kits every now and then, and he puts them on there. So I was checking them out one day, and I saw this one. So don't have this one, and it's sealed kit from like 1991, I believe, is when it is. I forget where the date, 1997. But I don't have this race car version and the super stock one, and I'm kind of curious what's different between it. I do have the 61 409 convertible. That's kind of a lowrider, but it's not. I have that. And I also have, actually have two of the SS 409 hardtops that you can build stock. There's an early version with the messed up front windshield, and then there's a later version. I've got both. And I don't have the AMT box. I've got all the Lindbergh ones from about the 90s, late 90s when these came out. But I'll do a full-on kit review between the different kits on them, which is why I saw this, so I ordered this. So I got plans to show you that and work on that. Now, I'm a big Mopar guy. As you guys know, I really like my Mopars. And I saw this was coming out, and he had it. So I'm like, awesome, I want to get this. And he only had a few. I'm sure he's going to restock. But I have the 71 version. This is the 72 version. Now, in the 71 kit, I've already opened it. I know it has the 72 bumpers on it. This is officially the 72 kit. I really don't think the plastic's going to be any different, but I think the decals and the painting a little bit different. So I'm curious what the differences are. But I do want to build it because I really like this body style Roadrunner, even though this really is not a Roadrunner. This is a satellite hood. They really don't say Roadrunner or GTX or anything anywhere on the box. Even though he was racing Dodge and then switched to Plymouth, so it's kind of weird. Or he was racing for Plymouth and then switched for Dodge later. So to me, that's kind of interesting. But he was always racing Plymouth for the longest time. So, and I also have his '69 Ford Torino. If you guys aren't familiar with that one, in '69 he raced that car. And there's a model kit of that. So I grabbed that. I've had that for a while. But I kind of like Richard Petty. I'm not a big NASCAR stock car fan, but I just always liked his cars, especially the Superbird. So I had to get those. So those are the two I ordered. But then here's what he sent me. Got some parts kits here. 63 Corvette Stingray. I'm going to open these up a little bit to show you kind of what's in some of these. Sent me the 63 Buick Riviera Lowrider, 66 Chevelle El Camino, and then last but not least, the Fairlane GTA. So, got some of those. Had to empty the box. We'll get that kind of out of the way. So, for me, the parts kits are great. And this one, it's a really nice kit. Ironically, I have not built this kit out of the box yet. I've had a number of them actually, but I got the race version with the R code with the scoop. This one I've got as well to build it. And I've actually grabbed a couple for stealing the motors on. This one's missing a number of parts, but nothing, I looked at the notes, so I do appreciate, Mark, you doing that. What was missing, and, he can't, as a seller, really sell it, but it's got a different body, but that's the body that comes in the kit, but it's molded in white. Somebody was modifying the back, doing something with it. I got a funny feeling it was getting ready to be converted into a 67, but that's just speculation. There's the hood with the chrome from somewhere else. But here's all the chrome, which for me, love these wheels, shifter, the air cleaner. This thing has a really nice FE 390 427 motor in it. And matter of fact, I was using this motor in a 67 Mustang GTA kit bash that I was doing, that I have started, I haven't shown you. But this is a really nice kit, and it's got a lot of nice stuff. There's some stuff that appears to be missing, but it's a really nice motor, and you got an automatic and a manual tranny, which is great, because you find the manual tranny all the time. This one has both automatic and manual, and a really nice 390/427, which I'm definitely going to use. This is a motor that I grab, and it's a great parts kit. I always liked the 427 that was in the Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt, the 64 Fairlane Thunderbolt. That's a really nice motor, but I think this one is much better, and it's more stock compared to that one with the exhaust manifolds and both trannies. The Thunderbolt has both trannies as well, but great kit. This one, it kind of shocked me when I saw this, and it was interesting as it's got the all stock body. It really doesn't appear that it's missing too much. All the bumpers, the chrome is kind of messed up on that. I'm not really sure if they were trying to take the emblem off or what they were doing. Got all the chrome and clear. So a few parts appear to be missing, but I don't really see. There's a nice big block in this one. And then you got all the interior here. And the stock wheels are here. Now I've heard, it's kind of funny, but I've heard this story second or third hand, that when Revell came out with their 66 wagon kit, but it didn't have the stock wheels or the stock hood, that a lot of people contacted Revell and said they had this kit and they were missing those parts. So a lot of people got those parts to build the stock 66 Chevelle wagon. But this is a kit that has it. Now, this one has the SS hood from the Lindbergh SS396 in it. So I noticed that it didn't have the stock hood, but it had the stock wheels, and it's also got a set of rally wheels in here. Really cool. So there's definitely some good stuff in here, some good parts. The even funnier part, and Mark didn't know this, is I have another 66 El Camino parts kit. I have that. It was missing the body and the interior, but it had all of the hood, all of the stock parts, engines and everything. And when I saw it at a swap meet for like $5, I grabbed it. Main reason was it had the stock hood and stock parts, so I can combine with the 66 wagon to make a stock one. I haven't done that project, but I got all those parts in one box, and I got all the extra 66 El Camino parts in another box. And this should build up really nice. Same thing, I have not built this kit. So I have a couple of them, one complete, one parts kit, and this is another parts kit. So now that's another one that's in my pile. This one, I have the stock version. I don't have the Lowrider version. This is missing the decals and instructions, but it looks like everything else is here. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's kind of nice stuff. Has an automatic tranny. The Buick motor in here with the dual quad intake. May have some other parts in here. Not really sure if it's got the air cleaner or which air cleaner it's got. This is back from the ERTL days. So this is a 90s kit. Tooled really nice, but it's got these interesting wheels. It doesn't have the stock wheels. But the thing that caught my attention is it's got the chrome suspension. There's the air cleaner. So bullseye air cleaner. But got some mirrors, got the chrome suspension, chrome springs with the hydraulics. So you got your low ones, your high ones. You can mix them and match them to pose it. And a chain steering wheel. I saw that chain steering wheel and I thought that was cool. And especially I've been kind of craving building a lowrider, doing something crazy, wild paint job. But the traditional lowrider stuff, And I had a friend, Junior Reyes, in high school. He had a 79 Cutlass and it had wire wheels and it had a real tiny chain steering wheel. And I remember driving that thing around. We were good friends. He let me drive it. Had a couple of 12s in the back. And we were bumping that thing, and this was like 1990. And I had a lot of fun cruising around with that, wearing his Doggers, being a white guy driving a lowrider. It got some attention here in Peoria. And I always had a lot of fun doing stuff like that. Somebody looks over and sees me driving that car and realize there's a white guy driving that car and he's wearing Doggers. So just kind of a funny story, but I always had fun with myself and never really cared about race or anything like that. That's just how I lived and grew up. But anyway, so there's those. And then this Corvette. These are great parts kits, and I've got a lot of them to restore. I've shown a couple of my AMT restorations. I've got one of these I built already. 64 coupe. I did a 64 convertible out of one of these. 63 convertibles, I turned it into a 64. I got a 65 coupe that I had restored and showed that. 66 coupe I restored. I've got a 67 coupe that I need to restore, which is probably what this glass is going to go to. And then I've got a bunch of roasters as well that I haven't restored. So there's about 3 or 4 that I need to restore. And I've got a 67 that's a van. So lots of parts potential for this one, but this one really surprised me. I mean, the chrome is all there. A lot of the stuff is in there. But this one was being built. So I'm like, okay, hey, this is interesting. I'll check this out. So here's one that seriously crazed and attacked plastic. I see threads all the time where people use spray paint and they use automotive cheap spray paint and Krylon. I see threads like this all the time. I haven't really used spray paints. I've had an airbrush for 30 years. I've had this problem early on in the 90s with paint jobs, and I bought an airbrush way back then and learned the airbrush because I just wasn't very good with spray paints myself. And I've had this happen a few times, so that's why I went to an airbrush so soon. Even though automotive spray paints, not automotive, hobby spray paints have gotten a lot better over the years. I mean, way better when you use Tamiya ones, or the Testors ones are even decent now, but they're pretty much going away. But they've got their hobby line ones, and they're much better than they were 30 years ago. But this body is really, really toasted, and I'm sure that's what happened is it got abandoned after this, because I can see where they were trying to sand it and smooth it out, and in some of the areas, and they just gave up. I can understand doing that. I've been there. I made the mistake one time of taking one of these, and I remember it, 66 Nova, when it first came out. I built that. I had spray painted it. I tried to mask it and do scallops on the front. I messed that thing up. I had the bright idea that I'm going to strip this thing, so I filled a plastic tub full of lacquer thinner. And I put that in there. It did a really good job stripping the paint off. In fact, I reached in there to grab it. The body had just crumbled and it was dust. It just dissolved the plastic. Left it in there for a couple of days thinking that was going to be great. So that was my first stripping a body. But it was because of paint like this. But the rest of this, the interior is actually in nice shape. It looks to be all brush painted. It's all there. It's a bit of a glue bomb. I'm not sure if that dash is going to come out. But that's okay. Then here's the chassis. The chassis is nice. The engine's actually loose. The engine's weathered, which is pretty cool. Washer bottle, battery, the overflow tank or catch tank, whatever you want to call that particular one. I believe it's a surge tank. But yeah, all of this is here, and all of this is usable. So quite a bit of this. And then the glass, it just needs a real light polishing, but this glass is usable. So this glass will definitely be usable by me, and a lot of these parts. I can build it as a small block and stuff. But that's what I got here. So, parts kits are always great for practicing on and messing with. I mean, I might be a spare body to airbrush and practice on. Same kind of thing with this, but definitely going to use some parts of this, some parts of this, and some parts of this. And who knows, I'll probably use a few of the Lowrider parts eventually, but I'll separate them and put them in my Lowrider parts pile. But these are the two that I really wanted to get here and then get into. I do plan to build one of these here real soon. I know you guys really like your Mopars, and I haven't done a whole lot of Mopars lately. I've been doing a lot of Corvettes and a lot of other stuff and some exotics, some stuff like that, but I haven't had a whole lot of time on the bench to work on a lot of stuff. It's been kind of strenuous right now, but I had an issue in my garage. I get into that another time, but I had to pull everything out of my garage. So I got to pull a lot of my stash out that I haven't dug into in a long time and see some of the kits that I have written on paper that I have, but just kind of been out of sight, out of mind, and saw them. But good stuff there. And it was kind of fun going through all that stuff. Even though I didn't get any bench time, it was kind of like inventorying and playing with my models. It's one thing having it on a sheet on my computer and photos on my computer, but actually, you know, digging into some of it and remembering, oh yeah, I've got this one. Oh yeah, I've got that one, and open it up and remembering what the trees look like. But anyway, I'll get into some more of this stuff here. So thanks again, Mark at Hobby Nut Models. I really appreciate this and the sponsoring of the channel. It's great. It benefits everybody in a hobby. And, you know, I appreciate all of that. And I hope everybody does too. So please check them out. Again, link in the video description below. And you guys, I'm going to finish this up and we'll get back to something else here real soon. But anyway, that's going to conclude this particular episode, and we'll get moving on here. But thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments. I really do appreciate it. Hit that like button and subscribe and the bell button. You can see my latest uploads if you really like this kind of content and what's going on with the channel here. And you guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Saturday.